Hello Beans and welcome back to Ikitude Streams. This time we've got the Beavers, Dangerzone Beavers. So, last episode you saw me moving some of the stuff up into the mountains. We are basically going to continue that process. Here you can see we are deleting a bunch of what we built before as we try and maximise the green space on the map. Hopefully gaining ourselves a bit more space to make some more food as we want to expand where we currently have the carrots growing. You also do see I made a bit of a mistake there, a bit of an oopsie, because I deleted the farm. Whoops. So which means, yeah, they're kind of not gathering food right now. I realise this accident in a moment, but for now we are building some more houses so we can get some more beavers. I really want the irrigation tower, just because when the drought does come, it can't keep up with the second farm that I've got back there. I don't like how the items still sit on the floor. It's probably about now where I realise that we deleted the farm, bit of an oopsie doopsie, but I mean you get all of the resources back, so I guess it's also not the end of the world. As we go about replanting our farmhouse. Whoops. But yeah, so far so good. So far so good. We've also started kind of pushing into the technology tree. We've got quite a few bit of sciencey pointsy things, so hopefully we can use that soon to get the gears going, maybe even then look at getting in some power sources. But definitely at the moment food is the priority, as we switch around things a little bit and try and get a second farm going. I do want to move the campfire, but because it needs to be on the ground, you can't kind of balance it on top of one of the other platforms like you can with most of these other buildings. So yeah, that's gonna have to either stay or move to somewhere else at some other point. But for now, I suppose a total of 9 squares of food, 9 carrot thingies is the loss for that at the moment. So I mean, it's not the end of the world. So yeah, here goes the farm going back in again, while I tell the beavers to get on and hurry up and pick up everything. I didn't realise, and I've only found this out recently, there is actually a button to assign priority on a large scale. You'll probably see me using it in future episodes, but just so you know, on the bottom bar, which you can't see very well at the moment, I've improved that recently, but on the bottom bar there is 2 arrow pictures, so 1 arrow down, 1 arrow up, one is red, one is green. If you use that, you can then click on the buildings that you want to prioritise or build very quickly, or if you've got one that you just don't really care if it gets built now or in the next century, you can use that. So yeah, just something to bear in mind. That is an option if you want to do a mass change to something. You can use that button to do that rather than clicking on each individual building and saying, hey, prioritise this one or that one. So made it a lot easier, a lot quicker. We're also now trying to get some of the other resources moved up, so we can get a bit more space going on. Eventually I'm going to run out of space here, so any space is good space at this point. I do kind of want to expand further along the left there, but until I get more platforms and possibly better pathways into the mountains, there's no way to do that. So yeah, we'll see. I kind of want already to be able to get dynamite, but that's going to be a long way off in the future because you need to have access to the ruins, which currently all of those are underneath the water. And yeah, I'm not going to get that anytime soon. You have got one up there in the top corner, but I found out recently, or well, kind of figured out when we first started really, making more districts does put a strain on the amount of resources that you've got going, so you've just got to be really confident that you can manage the 2 districts at the same time. You'll see me doing that very soon. You also see I can't get too far round these circles with one district, because the paths just don't reach that far. So as the path gets red, it's kind of becoming less helpful for you, because your beaver's got to work extra hard to get that far. So swings and roundabouts. So we look at getting an irrigation tower over into some of these areas, because when the drought comes, it basically makes a lot of the land unusable. The helpful thing here is the orange area does show you kind of where will be affected by the irrigation tower, so you can kind of overlap them in an easy fashion. I found that really cool. So you can kind of make sure you're maximising the area you're getting. We're also trying to potentially get some more things. There's really not much space up here, and by putting that there I blocked off the rest of the area, but which is I have realised, but so just a very difficult map, which is what we were looking for really, so can't complain. So we're going to cut down a bunch more trees. Half of those most of my beavers won't be able to get to, but as we build more ramps and more pathways, maybe they can. We have opened up the first level of stairs, etc, etc, so we should be able to. There are modded options with this game. This is the vanilla version, which adds different pathways and adds stairs that kind of curve rather than are just straight plain things, which is a lot of fun, and they do stick to the true style of Timberborn. It's very kind of earthy wooden style, which actually I really liked, and it does make making the paths a little bit easier. But for now, we are just stick to the vanilla side of things until we get a bit more confident with that. There are other mods as well. If I've uh-oh, drought. Oh no. Oh, okay. Well, we've got water. Maybe we'll be alright as long as it's not a 9-day. Maybe they can hurry up and build that irrigation tower before the drought comes. We'll see. It does require another beaver to work in there, but I mean, I've got enough space at the moment. Everybody's got a job or is otherwise working. But you can see the green now has pushed further up into the hill with that irrigation tower turning on. It is a strain on the water that you have in the village. So if you do get more irrigation towers up because you've got a lot of dry land, it's going to mean that your water depletes a lot faster. So something to bear in mind again, I suppose. So yeah, we're getting there. We're getting to a place where I'm sort of happier with it. We're getting some more water towers in. I realise I've cut off that area because I've already had beavers building it, so I kind of didn't use the space as best I could there, but we can always blow up that particular square at a future point and you know, capitalise on that space instead. I really feel like you need to use up every little space possible here because there really is a limit on the amount of space you've got. So yeah, we've got it going. I don't think we're necessarily in a bad place for the drought to happen. We get another pump going on cycle 4, day 7. We're already mostly filled on most of the tanks though, so we do destroy the lumber mill there because we don't need 2 going there. Potentially, well, I'm going to see maybe if I can get a gear warehouse going there instead. Potentially. More pathways. The annoying thing is a lot of these spaces with the one space, you have to have a path to get to the warehouse. So you kind of still do need 2 spaces, and you can't put a platform over things like crops or trees, so it's something to bear in mind again. That little flag there is me messing it up because the beaver cannot get to all of those trees, which is what I meant about kind of I'm going to have to build a lot more paths for him to be usable up there. So possibly not the best place to put the first irrigation tower, but it's there now. Might as well use it for a bit. as we are now approximately a day away. A day away from it. So here goes the gear workshop as the science tree starts to grow. A long way off dynamite. And a long way off of the dirt digging thingy-mabibs. I do rather like the dirt digging thingy-mabibs. They are really rather nice. I've noticed we are starting to run out of logs, so we definitely need to think about some more foresters and some more ways to gather trees. Maybe I can pop one down towards the south of this map, put another forester, or even to the right after the farm, maybe. But it's kind of which one's best. At least they're happy. They might not be so happy in the next couple of days as we find out whether or not the drought will absolutely wreck the poor danger beavers. Fingers crossed not. Otherwise this might be a very, very short series. Potentially. We'll see. We'll see. I changed the priority on the irrigation tower because I have more jobs than I have beavers at the moment. So it means the beavers have an option. If I change that to a higher priority, it means the beaver will choose that job over one that is less priority. And in this case, water is really king and key in this instance. So I really do want to make sure they get on that instead. So let's see. Going to expand upwards to the north. It does mean losing some carrots, but having gained all that area, having moved the townhouses, I feel like I can afford a little bit of it at the very least, and maybe even try and expand upwards rather than downwards around the rest of the area. Possibly even get a bridge, maybe. I mean, that'd be pushing it, right? That'd be pushing it. So at the moment, there's really not a great deal happening. It's not a too stressful one. The drought is a 7-day drought. I think we'll probably be able to get through this one with ease. I say with some trepidation still. We've got a good amount of water. We've got a good amount of food. It still turns out that berries are definitely doing better than carrots are, interestingly, and this seems to be the case in almost every game I've played. It's almost better to pop down the berries than it is to have the carrots going, but you can't go far wrong by having more food sources for your animals. And they kind of like it if they've got something different to gnaw on, so, you know, I mean, if I was being forced to eat carrots or berries only for the rest of my life, I'd probably be quite upset. Maybe you can answer in the comments below on what food you could potentially eat for the rest of your life and see if any of you agree. I mean, berries have a lot of sugar, so I'd probably get a lot fatter than I currently am. Carrots, at least it's healthy. I could think of worse things, but I mean, I can think of better things too, like, you know, eclairs. That would mean I'd gain a lot more weight as well, but, you know, you can't go far wrong with chocolate and cream and choux pastry. So yeah, maybe answer below and tell me what food you can potentially eat for the rest of your life, and we'll see if we agree. I didn't realise, by the way, that shower that I'm now trying to build needs to be by a water source. It does need water. It does kind of say that in the description, so it's worth reading the descriptions just so you can get that going. It tends to be the same depth on these particular beavers as the pump, so it's just something to kind of bear in mind. You're not going to get a water going off of the side of a cliff. Yeah. The other beavers do have more options for the depth they can go, so yeah, worth bearing in mind. Anyway, I think that'll probably do it. We're gonna get another irrigation tower in to try and support this crop. Again, I'm not really sure where to place it. I want to put it next to the gear shop, but there's no way to get to the gear shop at the moment because I've blocked that bed off. I probably could have popped a path up there and saved the area for the carrots, but yeah, just kind of squeezing the pennies to make the pounds go further as we then go into day 4 of the drought. So I will get another one of these episodes up again next week. But for now, I think we'll see if they can survive this one. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Good night, Beavers.